Work. Oh, I hope this works because it has not been working the last couple of times we've tried. So, can you guys see me okay? It seems really dark. I don't know why it's so dark. Um, okay. We are waiting for Shelly Hart. We're going to talk about her book, Unbreakable Faith. Hi, Shelly! Yay! Okay, so you're requesting me. Oh God, please let this work. Okay. Oh God, is it working? Ah! Oh God, it's doing the same thing it was. Oh. Oh!
It's working.
Yes! It works!
Yay.
Oh my God. Thank God.
Thank
I was
God.
so
God is
worried.
so,
Wait, hold on. Let me turn this up. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. How are you today?
I'm great, honey. Oh my God. I'm so glad this worked. I like my heart was racing and I had a knot in my stomach. I was like, fuck. Please let
No.
this work. Oh my God. Okay, can you see me okay? This is awesome. Yay, I'm
Yes, I
so
can see you.
glad. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hi, everybody. We are
Hello.
finally on with my beautiful friend Shelly Hart, and we're talking about her Amazon bestseller, Unbreakable Faith. And it's really an amazing book, and I was stunned by your story and just stunned by your candor and your vulnerability. And I just think you're the most amazing woman. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them who you are and what you do, and then we'll go into the questions.
Thank you.
Okay.
First of all, Amanda, I just have to say thank you for inviting me. I'm so honored to be on your show today.
Of course.
Like you are doing
Badass
so
Betty's Empowerment Series. You're the first guest. Woohoo!
Yay. I'm just so excited. Okay. So I'm Shelly Hart and I am the author of Unbreakable Faith, Finding Straight Through Sickness and Stress. And I am also um, in real estate, and I opened my own firm, Heart Realty. And I'm also working on a nonprofit right now. It's called Giving Heart, and it's going to try and reduce the poverty in a global standpoint. So that's kind of what we're working on right now.
Amazing. I love that. I don't know how you find the time after reading this book. I seriously like I'm like I have a hard time trying to find time to walk my dog, and you're like I'm opening up businesses and taking care of kids, and I'm like okay, clearly I am not doing enough. Clearly I am not doing enough. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start with the questions. What inspired you to write this book?
I would say my inspiration was all of my life adversities. And there's been several life adversities. And for that, I would tell you to read my book because there is
Right,
like so many
absolutely.
things from like financial struggles I've had, going through, health issues with my husband, going through relationship issues with friends and family, and just even with my husband, so there's so many things that I've gone through, and that's kind of what inspired me.
Well, why don't you go ahead and tell them a little bit about your husband? Whoops, sorry. A little bit about your husband and the sickness that he's been going through for the last 22 years of your marriage. That's what this book is about, guys, because and girls, sorry. I always say guys. I mean girls and guys when I say guys. Um, um, but the reason this struck me so much is because, he's really sick.
Mhm.
And if anybody looks on, and I haven't posted it yet, but I'll post it after this. He's been sick like that for a very long time, and you made the choice to stick by him as his wife and as his best friend, and when he had nobody, and he's super super ill, and it's shocking to see the condition that he's in right now. And you lived with this forever, so tell them more about that, what the disease is, and just go start there.
Okay, so Todd has PSC, and what PSC is primary sclerosing cholangitis. And so what happens is the bile ducts in your liver, it's a disease where it attacks your bile ducts of your liver, and so they close down, and so your liver cannot function properly. And so all that bile that your liver would, get rid of is now going throughout his whole body and just making him jaundiced and sick. And so that's
Yeah.
kind of what the disease is. And the only cure for it is a liver transplant. Like there's no cure for this.
Which he hasn't gotten, and he's been on the waiting list for how long now?
He's been on the current waiting list for 7 months. He's currently number one on the waiting list for his blood
Great.
type. So that's a positive thing. Yes, but
Yeah.
it's been 7 months. So he and I just spoke this morning, and he is hopeful that they will get a liver soon. but like you said, you never know. And so April is organ donation month. So I just encourage everyone out there to be an organ donor, because why take those precious
Yes.
organs with you when you die? Like, there's no need for them. So why not help save a life?
Absolutely, absolutely. For healthy, do it. So I want to know, so far, like, what is the feedback that you've gotten from the book? Because it really, you really are full of candor and super vulnerable in it. So, what did it make you feel like, and what is the input that you got back?
I have been like amazed by all the input, because, sharing my story was hard for me to do. And so when I read the input and the messages that people send to me, it just inspires me as well. And so I'm just so grateful for them. And I've had people tell me how strong I am, how great my faith is, how I've inspired them in their life, in their relationships. And so just, I mean, it's just amazing. I'm just so honored.
And you guys, if you're just tuning in, because I see a bunch of people loading on right now, we're talking to Shelly Hart about her book, Unbreakable Faith. I don't know if you can see this because we're split screen. Can you see it?
Yes, we
Okay.
can see it.
I'm like halfway in between. It's weird because the screen is like halfway in between all of the I know, Mike, we finally got her online. It's halfway in between all of the comments, and I can just see like the barely top of my face. So I don't know what you're seeing right now, but hopefully you can see the book. Um, but her book is about the pain and anguish she has gone through and the lessons that she's learned through the last 22 years of marriage. So just give a small like back details of where it kind of you met. So I'll just say it. So you met this guy, you fell in love, and you were on your way to being a model, and you got this huge modeling gig, and then boom, found out that he was sick, and you just had to stop everything. So tell me what that did to you as a person and as a woman, and how did that feel to you when your whole direction just whoop, went the other way?
It's hard because, like, when you meet the love of your life and you just plan your life together and you plan for kids and you plan on traveling and just enjoying each other, and then 3 years into your marriage this person gets sick, and that's when till death do us part comes into play.
Yeah,
And it's hard because you never know what life is going to throw at you. You never know. And so I had these dreams of mine as being a model, and I was selected by a modeling agency, and I had gotten a call from LA saying that they were going to fly me out, and I was so overstatic. Like, I was just so excited because that was my dream. Like, I was like, this is coming true. I'm so excited. I can't wait to share this with Todd. And as soon as he got into the door, I had to share the news with him that within the hour of me getting that call, of me becoming a model and being able to fly out to LA and be with this big modeling agency and do this big gig, I had gotten a call that he had cancer in the bile ducts of his liver, and the doctor basically told me there was no time, nothing they could do for him. It's just a matter of time. And I
hmm
can't even tell you that feeling. Like, I was just devastated because as a woman, it's like, you're a wife and you're a mom and you've got your dreams and your goals, and like those are coming true, but at the same time they were just downed by this illness. And so
yeah,
what do you do but fight for your husband? Like, that's just what I did. So I
yeah.
just put all of my dreams and goals on hold for him and went about life. We just we had to pack up our truck that we had at the time. We didn't know how long we would be there, and we put everything we could in a Chevy Blazer and away we went. you know
I mean, I know, I mean, you say it with such grace and humility, and I love you for that, but I just know how I can't even imagine how painful that must have been for you, and how scary, because your whole life is uprooted and you're the breadwinner of the family for a very long time. And because he was sick, you know what I mean? And I'm sure there were some times too where you felt completely alone and disconnected from your husband because of his illness. I can't even imagine how that must have been. So can you explain a little bit about that too, where you just, because I want women to understand too that this happens to a lot of us, where we're in a marriage and yet you're living with a roommate almost, you know what I mean? So can you expand upon that a little bit?
Yeah, so I mean, basically, I guess it goes back to when we first met in our marriage. We basically met on an emotional connection, is what I found out. And that's something that I share in my story about the auto accident Todd was involved in. And that just kind of brought us to a point of where I was just always there for him. You know what I mean? And so as a friend and a wife, like that's just what you do. And,
Yeah.
I guess like as the time went on and Todd got sick 3 years into our marriage and he'd, been sick the whole time, I just felt like, um, I was just the one that had to be the strong one continuously. And I guess that just became part of my life, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. You know, and then
How did you handle your children? Because by now you had two,
mhm,
and how did they cope with it? What did they do with all this upheaval and sickness and you basically running the show? How did they turn out to be so amazing? I mean, I know why they turned out to be so amazing because of you, but like there was like so many different things you guys went through that's in the book that's pretty shocking, you know?
yes,
So it's
yes.
enough to
So
tear a family apart, really.
it could, if you allow it to. Um, I just, I don't know, like with my what I do for my girls is I just empower them. Like I keep them connected with God. I pray with them and I'm always positive with them. Like even though some days I'm not positive because that's just human nature, like that's normal for everything you go through. But
Yeah.
I will always be positive with my kids. And I think that shows who they are today. And I feel like
Mhm.
my girls are strong because they're also going through this as well. Like they see how precious life is, and
Yeah.
not having their dad with us right now while he's in the hospital is very hard. And while we're separated right now because he's in Iowa and we're in North Carolina, so um, I keep my kids connected also with their friendships, like their close friends. I think that's very important for women to know as well. Like just if you're alone and feel alone, like just stay connected to those people that are for you and with you,
Yes.
because that is so important, so important.
They are your life jackets, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, there's been so many people that I've had in my life and I've done for other people too, where you sometimes you just need to rest, you know, and float and lean on people. And it's really hard to admit that and be vulnerable enough to ask, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a point that you made in your book that I really loved about don't ask if a person needs help. I mean, you can tell if they need help or not. Just deliver a hot meal, you know, do something for them that makes them feel that they're not alone, you know, loan them money or just give it to them. You're like, just go, like, take care of yourself, or go over and hold them, or, you know, talk to them on the phone or whatever it is, but connect because
Yes.
they're a sinking ship, you know, and there's been lots of times in my life where I'm like, I don't know if I can even breathe again, you know, and um, I really admire that in you that you were able to really convey
Thank you.
that in your book. You know, it's
Thank you.
really, really great. And you guys, again, we're talking about, oh wait, is it upside down? We're talking about, we're talking about Unbreakable Faith, and this is Shelley's Amazon bestseller.
Yes.
What? I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
So what advice would you give to single moms going through something similar or the same thing that you've gone through?
I would again say your circle of friends, stay so connected to that and stay connected to whoever your God is. Like stay connected to God, like stay connected to
Yeah.
faith because it's real. Like obviously with my story, all the things that I've gone through and sharing my story, he's been there the whole time. And I would
Hmm.
say just keep fighting. Like your kids need you and you need to be an example for your children because this world is hard and it sucks sometimes like not to have money. It sucks to be in a bad area in your
It
life,
sucks all the
you
time
know?
not to have money.
Yeah,
I'd say
yes.
this all the time.
Yes. So, and it's not easy to do it alone. And so many people
No.
have stories. Like there's stories in everybody. Everybody has a story. And it's like unless you go through that test to share your testimony, like you are keeping that inside of you. And just think of how many people you could help. That's why I did
Yeah.
what I. Hey,
I
Snoopy.
want to show my puppy Snoopy because he just got a new haircut. Doesn't he look so
I
cute?
love
He
him.
ha he has to make a cameo in every Facebook Live.
I love it.
I swear he knows what I'm doing and he comes over, he's like, Mommy, I want to be a part of it.
Of course, he has to be on camera.
He's such a ham. So so after I mean, so that we're not giving away too much of your book because I want people to go buy it. I really want them to read it. It's not a big book. It's a small book, but
Mhm.
it's a great read, you know, so you could really do it in a day or an hour or whatever. It's awesome. So I want to let people know that you can really do anything you set your mind to, even with sickness and
Yes.
craziness going on in your life and upheaval. And in the midst of all of that, how did you open up a real estate business? Like, hello.
So yes, it's crazy, I know. So I was in real estate for 8 years, and finally I just decided that I wanted to keep all the commission to myself. Like, why not, you know?
Yeah.
So what I decided to do was, you know, once Todd went into the hospital, like went to Iowa, and we like separated due to his illness, I began to focus on me. And I realized through the 22 years of our marriage, I was always giving, 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 and nothing was being given to me in return. And
Yep.
so finally, once I took time for myself and empowered myself, I'm like, I can do this. Like, this is my goal. And I just went and did it. So I opened up my own real estate firm and I wrote this book.
So how did you empower yourself? How did you empower yourself in that moment? Because I think people really skip over the meat of the work that you have to go through. Like it's the trenches, it's the murky, muddy, shitty part of,
It
it's
is.
not easy. It's not easy at all. And I mean, it really takes immense strength and courage to find your way to open up your own business and get your courage and your confidence back. So how, I mean, I know it's your faith, but what is it in you that made you push forward so much? I can talk, I promise. I really can.
I guess I just wanted to be my own boss, if that makes sense. Like, I just wanted to take,
Yeah,
like, be on top. Like, why not? Like, just
totally.
just empower yourself. I mean, be empowering to other people. Like, everybody can do what they want to do. Whatever you put your mind to is what you can do. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of what I did, you know? I'm just like, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. Nobody's going to stop me.
And they did it.
They did
And
it.
you didn't let anybody, and really you didn't allow yourself. I mean, that's really another thing too, is I always say be careful who you listen to and mostly yourself.
So
Because this
true.
thing up here, woo, it's a little crazy sometimes. It is a little crazy sometimes. So let people know also what you're up to now. Like what do you want to do after this book? So you wrote this book, this amazing
Yes.
book. Now what? Oh shit,
So
there goes my
now I
drink.
want to go out and tell everybody my story, because I want to go out and just inspire people. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to know how I inspired people after they read my story, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah, so
so public
here's
speaking.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it would be really cool to have people drop comments in this video and and say that they got your book. Just say, hey, I just ordered,
Yes.
because after we get done, I'm gonna put the link in there and so they can go buy it off of Amazon. And I think it's what, $15 or something like
Yeah.
that. And just buy it off Amazon and then get back to me and you and let us know how they were inspired, kind of,
Yeah.
and almost like a pay it forward type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
What they're going to do now that they know your story, because it's really compelling and beautiful.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes. So
Just
you
like
asked me,
you.
so you kind of asked me what I'm like up to now, what I'm going to do. So, moving forward, I will be public speaking about my book. I've had some inquiries yesterday, and so I'm totally excited. And I am also just working on a nonprofit. We just put this into progress yesterday. It's been up and running, but we're just now doing things with it. So, we are going to do the
And
best.
what's the nonprofit?
The nonprofit is Giving Heart, and that would
Okay.
be ART. And so the nonprofit is going to be helping the homeless and helping people in poverty and people with sex trafficking and just anything to do it globally with poverty. I want to help cure that. Some, like, that's just another thing in my heart. Like, just people that are suffering, I want to help, because I've suffered in my, and I just know
Yeah.
how bad that hurts and how bad it feels. And it's like, there have been days when, I just wanted to give up, but I'm like, I can't. Like, I got to keep fighting.
Yeah.
I have 2 children, and that's, I think, why I stay so strong.
Yes. Well, I mean, you're one of my dear friends, and we actually met not too long ago. But you've just became so like in my heart right away. And I remember when I first saw you, because just so you guys know, she's 6'1". If you haven't met her before, she's amazingly beautiful and tall. And I was like, hi. But I remember just going to lunch and we had wine. Oh, whoops. We didn't have wine because it was
It's all
like at the
good.
summit. Oh well. But we met through Ryan Long at the city summit and Greg Reed and Scott Duffy. Like everybody was there. It was such an amazing time. And
Yeah.
I got to meet you. And that's another thing too I wanted to say to people is like, just get yourself out there. Make sure you're really going to these events and going to things that interest you because you never know who you're going to meet. I never would have met Shelly had I not gone,
Mhm.
and we wouldn't be sitting here today and I wouldn't know anything about her story. And it just, I would have lost out. And it's really an amazing thing if you just put yourself out there and keep pushing. That's what this whole thing is about, Unbreakable Faith. You really did a great job and I'm so
Oh,
proud of
thank
you.
thank you.
Yay, two powerhouse women. That's right. Woo,
Yay!
woo.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Amanda, I totally believe that too. Just like go to events. Like events are so big because, like you said, you never know who you're going to meet, and or who that
yeah,
person even knows, or who that person's connected to. You know.
yeah,
So yeah, I think that's really important.
it
Sorry.
is. I don't know. Was it Greg Reed that said it? Like you're only one person away from a life changing something. I don't know
Yeah.
who said it, but somebody in
Yeah.
that
Is
group
that
said it,
what
and
you're
I was like,
saying?
that's right. You really are one person away from having a new best friend, or you are one person away from getting a lifetime deal that you've been waiting and waiting for, or a breakthrough or something, because we really do need each other.
Yes.
And this competitive BS is not it shouldn't happen anymore. Hi everybody.
Hi.
If you're just popping on, we are talking to Shelly Hart about her Amazon bestseller called Unbreakable Faith. Get it? It's really it's a small book, but it's full of information about her story and what she went through, and it's so inspiring as her being a single mother, and well, not a single mother, but you know what I mean. You're really alone for a long time because he was so
Mhm.
sick. Hi, Lewis. Um, so is there anything else that you would like to say or cover or anything? Because we can just say whatever we want. Should we have some wine?
I should have some
Actually, no, I
wine.
should. It's only 11.
I just want to tell everybody out there just to be yourself. Like, don't pretend to be somebody because everybody is beautiful in their own way. Like, everybody has greatness in them, everybody has a story inside them. Don't be ashamed to share that. I mean, when you read
Yeah.
my story, you'll know like some of the things I was ashamed of. And it's like, and I used to let that bother me, but it's like, those are just moments in your life. Like, those things do not define who you are as a person, and get
Yeah.
over it. Like, move on, like, be done with it. It's in the past. Like, keep focusing forward and be strong and be positive, because that's just what you need to do. Because this life is
Yeah,
hard.
and I
This life is hard.
yeah, I really believe too that people need to lean into pain and to really let it take you, because it's
Mhm.
molding you, just like you have a diamond on your cover. Like that diamond didn't become brilliant because it just sat there in the sunshine all day. Like it went through hell. You
Yes.
like it's in a dark little area and it's like, where the hell am I right now? And then on the boop, I'm a beautiful diamond. Like you don't know what's going to happen, but you do know eventually you're going to get out of it. And you're absolutely right when you say that. It is just a moment. It's not a huge amount of time that you spend in it is if you don't let it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
just like being happy is a moment, sadness and pain is a moment too. And the next moment will come if you allow it. But if you stay in that kind of resistance towards opening up that, like when a crack happens, light comes through it, right? If you keep trying to close the crack, that light can't come through.
Mhm.
Just let it burst open. And if it hurts even more, then it's it's making you into a better
Oh,
whatever, like you're going to
yeah.
become a diamond and a butterfly. I was there's butterflies that fly around my little back house all the time, and I always wonder what they think when they're in the cocoon, like where the hell are they?
Mhm.
But then they
Mhm.
turn into gorgeous butterflies. So just stick with it, keep with it, don't lose faith, and buy her book.
Yay.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put the description of your bio and the link to your book so people can buy it. And we'd really love to hear from you about how she inspired you and what you're planning on doing with that inspiration, because we're all about action and not just posting, you know, feel good memes all day. So, yeah. So, I love you. This was
I love
awesome. I'm
you.
so glad
Thank
it
you so
worked.
much. Yes, it was so
Yes,
fun.
thank you. Yeah, thank you, thank you. And then tune in too on Friday, guys, because I'm going to be interviewing live, like we're doing right now, at the Beverly Hilton, Danelle Delgado, who is a mentor of mine, and I just adore her. She's killing it. She's a single mom. She went through cancer, all that. She's just amazing. She's going to be on camera with me at the Hilton at 10 o'clock on Friday, this coming Friday. So I love you guys, and I love you, Shelly. I'm so proud of you. I'm
Thank you
so
so much.
proud of you. Yes, darling. Love you. Bye.
I love you. Bye.
Bye, honey. Bye, everybody. Bye.